Yo, time to wake 'em up!
Bonjour et bienvenue sur Discover 360. J'espère que cette chaîne vous plaira. Elle est consacrée à l'intelligence artificielle, au voyage et à la tech.
Yo, check the mic, 1, 2.
N'oubliez pas de souscrire. Bonne écoute.
Next cipher begin.
If you're a developer, you know the cycle, right? You build, you test, you ship, and you do it all over again. But what if security wasn't just some final annoying gate you have to get through? What if it was actually a core part of your craft? Well, today, we're going to reframe security not as a burden, but as your secret weapon. Let's get into it.
So let's just start with a huge number. According to the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, over 90%
Of companies are now using containers. And I mean, it's no surprise they've totally taken over. They're just an incredibly easy way to wrap up all your code, your libraries, and all those dependencies into one neat little package that just works everywhere.
But you gotta ask, right? When something gets this popular and this easy, is there a catch? Does all of this convenience come with some kind of hidden cost?
And well, the answer is a big, flashing yes. This warning from the security pros at Sysdig really hits the nail on the head. A single, tiny vulnerability inside one of your containers, that's not just a small bug. That could be the front door that lets an attacker compromise your entire cloud infrastructure. The stakes are incredibly high.
So what do we do about this? How do we fight back? It's all about a fundamental change in how we think about our work. It's called the shift left mindset, and it just means we start treating security as a core principle from day one, not as some afterthought we bolt on at the end.
For this to really work, it all boils down to one powerful idea: ownership. This quote from Platform One's guide says it all. It puts the power and, yeah, the responsibility right where it belongs, with you, the developer. It means owning everything about your creation, and that includes its security.
So, to put it simply, shift left just means you move security from the end of the line all the way to the very beginning. You know, you wouldn't build an entire skyscraper and then check if the foundation was cracked, right? You'd use strong materials from the get-go. It's all about preventing problems, not just reacting to them.
Okay, theory's great, but let's get to the fun part, the actual tools. We're going to look at how you can build this security armor directly into your code and your pipelines. And the best part? It's all automated. No more manual checklists.
Your first line of defense is basically a three-step automated scan. First, you scan the code that you write. Second, you scan all the open source stuff you pull in. And third, you scan that final container image before it gets anywhere close to production.
Let's break down step one. It's called Static Application Security Testing, or SAST. This is all about scanning your own source code for bugs and potential exploits before you even hit the build button. Trust me, finding a problem here is way, way cheaper and faster than after it's been deployed.
And look, it can be this simple. What you're seeing here is a GitHub action that runs a security scanner. For anyone who's used CI/CD, this is just a couple lines of YAML. You push your code, and boom, the scan runs automatically. It fits right into the flow of your work.
All right, on to step two, Software Composition Analysis, or SCA. Let's be real. You're not writing everything from scratch. We all stand on the shoulders of giants, using open source libraries and frameworks. But here's the catch. Their security flaws instantly become your security flaws. This is all about knowing what's in your supply chain.
And just like before, adding this to your workflow is a piece of cake. Here, we're just adding a simple plugin to a Maven pom.xml file. Now, every single time you build your project, it's going to check your dependencies for known vulnerabilities. It's just built right in.
And that brings us to the final piece of our automated toolkit, scanning the whole container image. Once your code is written and your dependencies are checked, you package it all up. This last scan is like the final inspection. It checks everything inside that package, the operating system, the system libraries, the whole shebang. So you can see how this all fits together into a really smart strategy. Step one, start with a solid foundation. Use a hardened, pre-approved base image from a trusted source like Iron Bank. Then, step two, systematically check everything you add on top by automating the scanning right in your pipeline. It's like cooking. Start with great ingredients and then have a great quality control process.
Okay, so you've locked down your code and your container image. You're done, right? Well, not quite. Your app doesn't just float in a vacuum. To be a great builder, you need to understand the entire stack it lives on, because your responsibility is bigger than just your app.
You see, security is all about layers. This stack starts way down at the cloud infrastructure level, then moves up through the host machine, the kernel, and finally, to your container at the very top. Now, as a developer, your main playground is that container layer, image scanning, managing privileges. But it is so important to see how it's all connected. A weakness in any one of these layers can put the entire system at risk. And a map like this one from Platform One really drives that point home. Your code, the platform you build on, it's at the absolute center of this huge interconnected ecosystem. You're not just a cog in the machine, you are the hub.
So, what's the big payoff for all this? Why should you care? Because, and this is the important part, this isn't about adding more work. It's about giving yourself a massive advantage. It's about helping you ship faster, safer, and with a level of confidence you've never had before.
Let's be perfectly clear. This whole shift left thing is not about slowing you down. It's about the exact opposite. It means fewer late-night alerts that ruin your sleep. It means spending less time fixing security bugs and more time building awesome new features. The end result? Faster, more predictable releases and the pride of knowing you're building software that's made to last.
When you really embrace security as just another part of your craft, you're elevating your role. You stop being someone who just writes code. You become a true master builder, an engineer who thinks about the strength, the resilience, and the safety of the entire structure you're creating.
Which leaves us with one last question to think about. In today's world, when you ship your product, what are you actually giving your users? Are you just shipping them code? Or are you delivering something far more important? Are you delivering trust?